Tonight's video is going to be about how to save a little bit of money buying Brussels sprouts. Now, normally when you buy Brussels sprouts, you pay for a couple dollars, maybe $3 a pound. What I did is I bought these older Brussels sprouts from our local grocer. You can see they're about 2 weeks old.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living.
And what I did is I removed all the skins. And here, for example, are 2.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts that were spent overnight into the refrigerator and are completely all hydrated and ready to cook. So this is the way you do it. You take your Brussels sprouts out of the bag that they came into. Every once in a while our grocer does that. They have discounts and where they use up all the Brussels sprouts that don't make it, or vegetables that don't make it. Okay, so what you do is you push these to the side and you're not going to worry about losing a bunch of leaves. That's the purpose. Now, what's the advantage between this one and that one? Okay, so this one's got the outer leaves on it. This one doesn't have the outer leaves on it. This one here, though it's old, let's pretend it was brand new. Or for example, if this, see this giant one here? Now, let's go back to the old one. So here, if it was one that was very, very fresh, those outer leaves might be tough. They might not be as tender as these inner leaves. So what you're doing is you're getting the very best of product right here by just removing all those leaves. And it just turns out that these are old. They need to be removed. Let me show you. You just peel them off like this. And it takes a little bit of a minute, but you're just going to take off anything that doesn't look right. And what I normally do is I get a container, and as I peel them, I just put them right in the container. And here is a bag full of what I had done last night, just to show you. Now, it's a lot of leaves here that you're throwing away, but these are all tough leaves. And that's the advantage of doing it this way. So here, this one's ready. We can put it on top. And then go for the next one. And we're just going to do a couple, and I'm going to finish these off. And I'll show you at the end. Well, you already see the end. And what you do, you don't worry about losing a couple layers of leaves, because what you want to do is you want to get the best product. In the end, the best product is the inside, like right now. This is the inside. So we're going to take these two that we put in, just put them to the side so we can soak them. So just take out these loose leaves. You don't want those. Get to the center. Okay, go to the next one. And I'm just using a standard paring knife, fairly sharp, just so I can cut the ends off. And what the ends look like when they're old, they're black and ugly looking. So then I look at the leaf, first layer here. This one looks in good shape, and I put it aside. Let's see, we'll go to the next one. Cut the edges off. So you get the leaves there. Just peel it right off. So this is a way to be able to have 3 pounds of Brussels sprouts, the very best tender Brussels sprouts possible, in your meal, and also save money. Okay, so peeling that off. And you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to be able to get that layer off, but we're getting it. That's the important thing. Okay, one more layer. Okay. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to get these done, and then I'll show you what I do with it at the end. sometimes what you'll do is you'll open up the plant and you'll see these little holes. So what you do is you cut them out. Because that could be a bug or something like that made its way in through. Dogs want to walk. That's what they want. It's 100 degrees outside, so I'm trying to wait till 5 o'clock to take care of them. And this is the last one. You can bet that the store did not hydrate these before they gave them to you for a real discount. These are the leaves that was taken off, and you can see there's a lot of leaves there. But you got to remember that you got the very best part of the Brussels sprout. So what you're going to do next is you're going to hydrate them. For these over here, I hydrated these for entire overnight in the refrigerator, about 8 hours. So I'm going to put all these in. I just finished cleaning up. And they're going to go in the fridge, and they'll all be ready for when I start cooking them. I've got a nice major meal coming up, and that'll be for another video. But for now, what you've learned is that you can buy old Brussels sprouts. You remove the leaves and you soak them in water. You soak them overnight, and in the morning they look like this. Still green, they're hydrated, they're ready to be used. As you can see, these are nice and tight. They were loose when I put them in. They've taken that much water on. So this is something that can extend your food budget. And if you really like, and if you see a bad leaf like there's one right here, you just grab it, you take it off, and you don't even worry about it. Alright, this one's a little more difficult, but there, you see that bad leaf is gone. There. And so I'll be cooking these in Instapot for a meal that I have for you. Alright, so this is part 2, and what we're going to be doing, this is the Instapot that will be cooking the Brussels sprouts that we just peeled and made nice again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of onion on the bottom. And this is your first line of defense so that your vegetables don't burn. And you just take the brown skin off the top like this. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut it in slices, and you're going to basically lay it on the very bottom. I'm going to show you right here. So you're going to just lay it on the bottom like this. This will become part of the cooking. And we're just going to lay this as a foundation of onion, and that's going to basically replace your oil that most people use nowadays. And we're back here on the bottom. We're putting this on the bottom, so that'll be our first layer. We're going to do that for the entire onion, and then we're just going to cut it this way. And then take that. We're going to lay layers of onion, and if they fall apart, it's not a big deal. Then once that's done, then you're going to go and you're going to drain the water off out of these. So I'm going to move the camera over here, and what we're going to do is just going to drain the water. And these have already been cleaned, and they have been hydrated. So hydrated they're not coming out of the container. And we're just going to rinse them off. And we're going to grab them and we're going to put them inside of here. And we're going to do the same thing for this larger container. We're going to rinse it off. So now these Brussels sprouts have been in the refrigerator for about 12 hours. And it's the last batch. And then we're going to simply put them over here. I'm going to fill them on. Now, if they were beans, you could not do this. You couldn't fill them all the way to the top. But because they're Brussels sprouts and they will get soft, you can get away with this. Now we have to add water. We had 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so once you have your 1.5 cups of water, you just pour it inside. Then you put in the lid back on. Make sure the sealer is over here on the top, the seal. So what we're doing next is we're going to set the timer for 1 minute. So we're going to press it. We're going to press manual. It's at 11 from a better job, and we're going to press it down to 1 minute. Now it's going to take a lot longer to cook than 1 minute. Now we're going to wait for the Instant Pot to turn on. Now it's on, it's starting its cycle. So it takes 5 minutes for it to come up to the 1 minute mark. 1 minute more to cook, that's 6 minutes. And 1 minute to vent, that's 7 minutes. So your Brussels sprouts will be finished in 7 minutes. Okay, we'll see you then. Okay, so the rang and what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the machine, and this is how you know it's off. And next we're going to do is vent it fast. So you see? So what you need to do, take a towel and you put it over the top because it's very, very hot. And it's just going to vent. So it took really hot, so try not to burn yourself. And this is going to take about 1 minute to vent, and that's exactly the time you need to get your Brussels sprouts out. Alright, so we'll see you in a little bit and we'll get this thing venting. Okay, so now the lock is dropped, let the liquids fall inside. Put this in a safe place. I'll show you if these are ready. Watch, see how the fork goes inside very easily? So these are all ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put them in this pot to cool. I'm just going to do a couple, and I'll turn off the screen and you can come and see me after I'm finished. Alright, so we'll see you in a little bit. Now this is such a large amount of what we're going to do. So instead of putting them in a quart size, containers, we're going to use these larger gallon containers. You see? And so we're going to do it. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing. I'm just going to open it up. And this has got a little bit of the onion that was on the bottom. So we're just going to fill this up and then freeze it. Now, this way it gives me an idea of what I'm going to be doing. Then if you were to do small little meals, then this you're using your quart size container in this bag, for example, here. And I'm going to show you how I do that. And then I use a slotted spoon because I don't want any of the Brussels sprout water to come into the bag. Now, Brussels sprouts are usually very, very green, but because we took out those outer leaves, we don't have as much green, and also that means we won't have as much gas either. A lot of people have trouble with Brussels sprouts. Okay, so what you do is you just lay it flat, like this, and then you seal it. It's got a little bit of air on it, you just open it up a little bit, and you seal it. And I'm going to do 2 bags like this. Okay, so alright, so all we have to do is mark them next. And it's been hot as heck. You wonder why would you want to eat, but you see we're going to be eating a lot of these cold. So you just write down the date, and then you stick them in the freezer and they'll be all ready for the next meal. Matter of fact, it seems like I have another bag's worth. I'm going to take care of this right now. Okay, so it's not a full bag, but it's more than adequate. Get rid of the gas. And we'll put the date on that. Actually, we have a full bag because we have this gallon-sized bag. And that way we can still fill it in. Okay, so we have 3 quart-sized bags, and we have about 1/4 of probably another quart-sized bag, or maybe 2, in this gallon container. But we're going to use this tomorrow in another meal, so I'm going to leave it like this. And these will go. So out of this huge amount, 4 pounds of Brussels sprouts with the leaves removed, we created and we created 3 freezer bags. So there's 1, 2, 3, and we have this left.
If you like this channel, please subscribe or give us a thumbs up.